Dear colleague, welcome. It's Dr. Jack Krasuski, and I hope you're having as great of a week as I am. And I'm here to tell you about New Year's resolutions. Yes, it's that time of the year. And of course, New Year's resolutions have developed a very bad reputation because they're become more associated with failure than with success. And so the topic of today's blog post is how to avoid failing in one's New Year's resolutions, all right? And I'm going to use the old journalistic conceit. This is what journalists use in order to develop news stories, right? It's the 5 W's and the how, okay? So we're going to discuss the what, the when, the where, the how, the who, and then the why. Now let's start at step 1, which is the what. What change are you hoping to establish in your life for 2019, right? And you can't say, well, I want to get in better shape. That's way too vague and general. So, try to operationalize what you actually mean by that. Do you wish to lose 20 pounds? Do you wish to get your BMI below 25? Do you want your body fat percentage to be below 15 or perhaps below 9%? Do you want to run like a 5K fun run with your charity group? Or do you want to run a full marathon in under 3 hours? Perhaps you want to deadlift 150% of your body weight. Or perhaps you're going to look more at just, I just want to spend 90 minutes a week on some moderate aerobic exercise, whether that's jogging, stair walking, getting on the rowing machine or the treadmill or something like that. Okay, whatever, but define what it is. Now let's look at another example, very different example. Let's say your goal for 2019 is to write that book you've been wanting to write forever, right? Maybe going back to your teen years. And whether it's fiction or nonfiction, again, define it. A book, a fiction or nonfiction book, could be 20,000 words long, or it could be 10 times as long, 200,000 words. Now you might think that this is an odd way of operationalizing your deliverable of your book, but it's actually not. If you work with a publisher, they have standards for, like a nonfiction book, how long it ought to be. And they will accept shorter books and longer books, but then you have to justify to them why it's that length and not another. If you have a writing coach, they're going to want you to establish your proposed book length too. Now, if you're thinking like, I don't know how long I want my book to be, so then start asking yourself, what is it that you want to convey to the reader? Let's say it's a nonfiction book. How many main ideas do you have? 5? Well, then you could have maybe a 7-chapter book. You have an introduction, your 5 ideas, a chapter per main idea, and then kind of a conclusion or bringing it all together, right? And then it starts, you're forced to start thinking, well, how many words do I need? What do I need to say about my idea number 1 and idea number 2? And all of a sudden, trying to figure out how many words you need takes you down the path of really outlining your book. So you're actually forced to think through exactly what you're going to leave the reader with, okay? Now let's move on to when, which is another super important aspect of fulfilling one's New Year's resolutions. So I want you to think about a timeline. Like this is your day, from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to bed. And I want you to imagine that timeline across your average day. Do you see any big gaps in it? Like 30 minutes, 90 minutes? I don't know about you, but I don't, and most of the people I know don't have big gaps in their days, just looking to be filled with some new activities. So it's very important that you also find that time. How can you find time that you now do not have for an additional activity? Well, you could do the things that you're already doing more efficiently to save some time, maybe shave off 5% of the things that you're doing, whether it's at the office or at home, or perhaps you have to drop some activities that you're already doing. But one way or another, you're going to have to think through, when can I fit this in, right? It's so easy to not even think about that. But if you don't, you're not going to succeed. Now, when it comes to the where and the how you're going to fulfill these new promises that you're making towards yourself and engage in these new behaviors, you have to ask those similar questions. When am I going to do it? Where am I going to do it? how am I going to do it based on my operationalized what is it that I'm going to do. Now I want to move to who, which I want to revise to with whom. So a great way of maintaining one's commitments to one's self-promises is to engage another person. So let's say your New Year's resolution is to really eat much healthier, however you define that. Well, one really good way is if you do it with your significant other, whether they live with you or not, but your two people are very close together. You both engage in that same resolution. Perhaps you cook together. Wouldn't that be some nice quality time for the two of you to spend together? Maybe you can even take a cooking course together, like healthy eating that's not overly complicated and time consuming. Wouldn't that be a great gift to give to your significant other, right? If you want to head out to the gym or jog early in the morning before work, it would be much easier to do it if you had a running buddy or a gym buddy, or perhaps even a group of people. Not only will you inspire each other, but you're going to be ashamed if you don't keep up with your commitment. Like if everyone else is out jogging and you're kind of sleeping in, you're not going to feel very good about it. So it's that kind of like avoiding being embarrassed and also being inspired by a group of people, like-minded individuals, is a super, super important and effective technique for fulfilling one's self-promises. And now I saved the why for the last, because whenever you engage in any new behavior, it's first of all effortful. And success is certainly not ensured. You're doing something probably that's somewhat out of your comfort zone. And you're going to hit rough spots. You're probably going to get some failures. If you don't, then maybe you're not thinking big enough. So, setbacks, failures, disappointments, maybe some embarrassing even failures, right? Disruptions to your routine, like when you take a vacation or do business travel, even if you've been maintaining a great diet, for example, that can go right out the window if you're out of your house, out of your element. And so because there's going to be these challenges in you meeting your goal, you have to have a very strong why. And I'm just going to ask you to start thinking about it. Like, why is it that you want to, write that book or lose the 20 pounds or run that marathon, whatever it is? Why? Why? Why is that so important? Dig deep. This is such an important topic. I wanted to really kind of expand on it, and at an upcoming post, I will talk much more about it, because it's really a fascinating field about really trying to understand one's own motivations, deep core motivations. Fascinating topic. So I have one ask of you. So I would love to hear back from you. You can email me back at drjack@americanphysician.com, or leave a comment on Facebook or on YouTube. I do read those, and I want to hear how. First of all, last post was the personal inventory. I want to know if you did that and what you found out about yourself. Certainly, I'd like for you to share it with all of us. And if I kind of post it or talk about it, I'll keep it anonymous. And then, of course, I have the same ask for what I just talked to you today. Think about this and share with others kind of both your successes, your struggles, and what your own personal goals are for your New Year's resolutions. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Jack Krasuski signing off till next time. Thanks again. Bye for now.